Hello and thanks for staying with us. Customs Management speaks on free trade zone revenue generation in the country. Also on customs reports, Semi-Customs Command received foreign students at the border. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Idinye. Stay tuned. The Nigerian government has said that companies operating at the free trade zone will no longer pay custom duty as relates to source material from locally produced items. The order was handed down by the Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, who was represented by the Deputy Controller in charge of Excise at the port. We came to Lagos today to officially also brief the stakeholders operating in that zone, and some of them are also in this zone too. What are you telling them?
We are telling them that the CGC had made a promise in the current customs modernization that is in progress, that every customs procedure will be automated. In fact, we started this journey in 1998, yes, 98 with Asikuda, and we had really gone far. And what we are doing for the excise and free trade zones department now is part of it. Before, we were hearing that people in the free zone, the operators of free zone, were paying customs duty on all the raw materials they import or they imported. They will just pay a flat rate of customs duty on it. And we said no, it's wrong, because eventually when the goods are produced from the raw materials, not all the goods are destined for customs territory. Some of them will be exported out of Nigeria, and we all know that those ones are free according to the government rules. So that was why we initiated this move now, this process, to harmonize the collection of customs duty on goods processed, manufactured, remodeled in the free trade zones, which are destined for customs territory. And we have done it.
Yeah, in one of your lectures just now, you were telling them about a glass, holding a glass in your hand. Can you please explain that one to us again so that maybe we understand?
I said that in the one of the incentives given to investors in the free zones is that they will not pay custom duty based on the goods, the finished products. They will only pay customs duty based on the raw materials imported that went into the production of such goods. And I give example of this eyeglass. Assuming you have used an enterprise in this free zone, had used 7 raw materials to produce this, and only 3 of them are imported, and the other 4 were sourced locally. The enterprise is going to pay customs duty only on those raw materials, the 3 that are imported.
So can you identify the 3 that are imported? How will you be able to pay that?
I'm not an enterprise, so I wouldn't know what will go into the production of this. What I'm just saying, and what the law say, is that only raw materials that are imported that went into the production of goods in the free trade zones, which are destined for customs territory, only the raw materials, imported ones, that should pay duty.
The ACG and also the controller in charge of Port, who welcomed the DCG to Lagos, says that the government policy will further improve the free trade zone in the country.
DG Excise is very passionate about this, and she has started with the automation of excise and now the automation of free trade zones. She also saw to it that the free trade zone was elevated to a command which she commissioned we are doing today. That is the upgrade of the free trade zone. I know it's a new concept and most of us find it confusing, but we are still going to work on it, like this, she said. We are still going to fine-tune the processes So we appreciate if you give us your feedbacks. We're going to give you an email address. We want you to populate this email address with your comments and your suggestions and your fears so we can address it. It's still work in progress. We are still going to fine-tune for another 3 or 6 months before it is fully deployed. So we appreciate your feedback and suggestions. And also we're going to engage our stakeholders like we're doing. It's going to be a continuous thing, like our elder statement just said. So as we meet, we'll continue to address your fears and the ones about the band item 41, we're going to take down the CBN and also fine-tune the processes. So I'd like to appreciate everyone for coming. It's been a good interactive session and we're going to do this again. And please keep your comments coming.
This for the duty, if it is restricted items.
That's the second question.
Yeah?
That's the second question.
That's the second question. Okay, the first question is the 4059.
4059, tax implication.
Yeah, 4059, that's where we now know the raw material use, the quantity of the raw material. If it is in free trade zone, if it is the stakeholder, the free trade zone authority that is paying it, you know when you manufacture, it's no longer on discretion. Because you are going to pay, because you are going to pay that duty on importation, because all importation, even restricted or prohibited items, can go to the free trade zone. But if they are coming to customs zone, they are not coming as a restricted items. They are coming as a finished product. But you can still pay duty on what you imported into the zone. Because the zone is assumed to be not in Nigeria. Importation is in another country. But once you bring it in, it's already the process of manufacture. Because you are not taking it as a finished product.
But the duty is being paid. The duty is being paid on the raw material.
Yes.
Who will pay the duty? How will he access
The free zone is the campaign. You know, when you are in 4300, it reflects what we have on 4059. If duty has already been captured, the stakeholders have already paid, it's just for us to know the quantity. It's going to populate that 43,300 where other documents will be processed. You understand? You're not paying duty on that 43,300. You are paying duty on 4059.
Sorry.
She has said, from M, first of all, you as an enterprise or a licensee zone, you have a special chip number which exempts you from tax. And therefore, since it exempts you from tax, you will not be able to source from them for that. However, there are sometimes an enterprise can be an importer at the same time. In that case, you must have to open a company with a TIN number in Nigeria where them can be sourced. Did you understand? If you have opened a program with a TIN number in Nigeria, then the program will be accepted because the TIN number is a Nigerian TIN number. But an enterprise TIN number in the zone is not recognized as an importer. It's only recognized as an investor. Therefore, one important thing you have to understand here is that your importer transaction should be very, very specific. What is an importer transaction? It's the terms of the contract between you and the importer. Has to be very clear, so that in case of duty purpose, whose liability is the duty? Is it your liability? If it's your liability, then you must have to open a from M in Nigeria. If it is the liability of the importer, then the importer will open a from M in Nigeria and you fully undergo normal custom clearance procedure.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Customs Area Controller in charge of semi-border has said that the Nigerian government will continue to promote work relationship with friendly countries all over the world. He also said that the service will promote civilian safety and well-being remains a priority in both trans-border trade and movement of goods and people.
Community, especially now, I think we have never had it so good. We have a very good working relationship with the community, the youth and the elders and the traditional rulers too. One, whatever activity the community has, Nigerian custom here has made it mandatory for us to fully participate in whatever the community invites us to do. And they have seen us, they say how we relate with them. So that relationship now has improved what used to happen before. At times, the locals have been giving us information in most of the seizures we are making to show the level of collaboration we have with the locals. We have made so many remarkable seizures that all this information came from the community. We have such and such in our community, please come and pick it. We don't want it. We go on stakeholder meetings with them and inform them what we are here to do. We are here to partner with them. We are here to serve them, not the other way around. And that message has gotten to most of them. They now see us as their friends. That's why you see there is peace along the Seme Badagry axis. And even the smuggling, the people presently, most of them do not indulge in that. That's why this our road, if you see, is almost free. We don't have much problems with them. We live in peace with them, and we thank them for their cooperation. The Nigerian Navy intercepted some smuggled rice into the country through the waterways, and immediately they called us and handed over to us. That is the kind of synergy we have with all the other security agencies.
The students were proudly received by the Jibo performance, saying that the act of maintaining peace and stability in the border has been on since it took over government on the border.
It's a study tour. The theme for our program this year is addressing issues of illicit arms smuggling and also trafficking in person. So we decided to come to the border to see for ourselves some of the activities and the challenges our law enforcement agencies are going through.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of PTLM Command has been speaking on VIN violation as it affects clearance of goods at the port. So the VIN violation will further improve revenue generation base of the command.
Questions. First, let us look at the background of VIN valuation. My name is not Frank. My name is not Frank. I want frankly speak. Believe in me, VIN valuation is as the instance of these stakeholders. They are the ones who call for this VIN valuation, not Nigerian Customs Service. Get it right. They requested for it, they asked for it for whatever reason, and we decided to say, okay, we have listened to it. That is number one. Because so many of them don't know. They thought that just Nigerian Customs Service woke up one day and decided to introduce VIN valuation. I challenge all the association. They requested for it. They asked for it. And here we are. But today, in Nigeria, Nigerian Customs Service is one of the most automated agencies of government. We can pride ourselves. We cannot say we are 100% automated, but at least we are 60 to 70% automated. And in automation, it's continuous. You see how we migrated from the Asikuda, now we are ISIS, now you can now ISIS, we can now see where we are coming, we are going to. But in any policy, when we practicalize it, the impact of that policy on both the economy, the investment, the revenue will be assessed. That is strategic planning for you. Now, it is the management that will, first of all, when they receive the feedback from the field, they will now look at it, assess it. When they assess it, if there is need for us to modify it, then it is the management's responsibility. But for now, just like my acting ACG said, believe in me, all what we need from you is let us cooperate, let us have the feedback, let us have data. We are not talking of only data, we are talking of quality data from this one. the output, if you are sincere, will probably change, will be the game changer. But if we don't have data, the quality data that will come out from this process to the management, they are not magicians. They rely on that one. Then they can look at it and say, okay, why don't you modify it? Why don't you simplify it? But for now, please let us try as much as possible and go by the VIN valuation. Please, the press people, tell them they asked for it, not customs, and we gave it to them. Thank you very much.
The head of boundary in charge of southern zone of the country has been speaking on the seizure made by various teams as approved by government. So the seizures include bags of rice alongside other items. It speaks more on the number of procedures made by the zone.
When you collaborate,
a question of intelligence?
Purely when things like this happen, definitely intelligence must have exchange. And the collaboration does not only stop within the uniformed service officers, even the public. The public, there are some willing public that are patriotic. There are some willing public that are out to assist. So the collaboration is not limited to the uniformed services. Particularly the joint border operation is consisted of so many agencies. The DSS are there, the NIA, the military, so on and so forth, many of them. You can see Nigeria immigration. I've seen a lady around. Where is she? You can see she's a member of the joint border patrol.
The Katsina area controller has again warned smugglers to desist from smuggling activities along the nation's borderline. He said that the government will continue to arrest and seize any customs goods not approved by government.
And almost this about 3 months ago, now I've started receiving collecting the revenue as well as promoting the export, both import and export activities. So the revenue in the period under review witnessed a decline simply because we have some instant attacks by the bandits, which put the security under jeopardy, under stressful position. But all hands are on deck from the government, all the security agencies are on to it, seeing how it will be improved. And that's why I call to the public to help the law enforcement agents with the vital information so that we can be able to be on top of the situation. All efforts are on deck and a lot of strategies. If you go to GB Road now, you see that GB Road is very accessible because the law enforcement agents are there 24/7. If you want to prove it, go in the night today, pass through from Katsina to GBR. Right from the North Base, custom base, up to Agangoro, that is Gahoni, up to 8 Mile. Pass again, you see that the custom officers are there in a joint security level with the army and other security agencies together. These are part of the strategies that is enhancing the security system so I can be able to move freely in and out of the country within the legal framework. Part of this, the revenue under review here now, 99,700, that is 99,777,343. Again, the last month when we had the review in June, which was 104 million naira, if you could remember. That's why we say that's a decline. Even though Emika won. When we go to the export, this time around we have 10,827 metric tons of items such as mint, hibiscus in Hausa Zopo, the popular Zopo. We have chili, pepper, animal feeds, that is Dusa, tamarind, which is Amia. We have beverages, etc. with that is pre-on board of 538,406,126 naira were exported. Again, the last report and some other cottage millers all in Katsina State. Why are they not moving forward? Why will it have been more and more? Simply because we couldn't pay attention to the gesture the government is giving. All the opportunities were given, at least let us try to utilize it. By allowing these smugglers, definitely there will never be a time when we'll be able to achieve what we're expecting to achieve here. That's why we put the pressure on suppressing this menace, smuggling of rice and many other things, especially the food items, so that we'll be able to produce ours in our country and be able to feed our nation. Then before we start thinking of feeding others out of the country, taking out as an export. Let us stop, all hands on deck to see how we can stop assisting, aiding and abetting those bringing in food items in a smuggled manner, because that is actually a very, very, very bad moment for all of us. Likewise, we have other issues like the means of conveyance. These means of conveyance, you may see them just ordinary here, but many of them are fabricated. They had been constructed to serve their purpose, their selfish purpose. A vehicle, like example, at times they will construct a mini bunker inside the boot, so they will take as much fuel as possible for illegal exportation out of the country. Some big vehicles, they have bunkers inside them as a truck. You see inside the truck there will be a bunker underneath, so that it will serve as another way of means of concealing. Among these conveyance, within the period under review, we had one dump truck with a net value, that is duty paid value of 5,805,000. We have another used Iveco truck with a duty paid value of 5,130,000. One used the Sambos, 877,500 naira as duty paid value. We have one used Lancer bus with a duty paid value of 1,357,000 naira. We have also used Peugeot 406 with a duty paid value of 1,283,000 naira. Volkswagen Station Wagon Golf with a duty paid value of 945,000 naira, as well as another Volkswagen Golf, now wagon, with a duty paid value of 1,287,000 naira. We have one DAB trailer with a duty paid value of 9,450,000 naira.
Just before I round up this week edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where serious what millions of naira was seized by some commands in the country. For me, Igeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.